Hello, my name is Noble Madu. Today we're going to be talking about the introduction effect. The introduction effect. It's more than simply an understanding of the principles of good recruiting. It's about the power of a simple introduction. In this interactive resource, you'll find some of the science, stories, and timeless principles behind aligning great talent with great opportunities. Here's to sharing, connecting, and changing the world. I wrote this a year ago, and I wanted to create an intro for this book that made me think about the power of one introduction. In my life, so many people have introduced me to things. My parents, my friends, colleagues, even strangers. There's been a common thread in every single interaction I've had. Any opportunity that's led me to success, there's been a referrer. There's been someone that has been a connector. And I thought to myself, why don't we highlight that more? Why don't we highlight the person making the connection or making the actual relationship happen? So I said, let's do some research. I got a pen and paper. That was before ChatGPT. And I said, let me go and research and figure out exactly what is it about connectors. At the time, I was working as an executive search advisor, as a recruiter, trying to help connect people to opportunities. And I told myself, no wonder why this stuff is not easily accessible. It's boring. No one wants to read about the process of finding a job or the process of finding the best candidate. It's boring stuff. So I said, let's simplify it. Let's simplify what it means to just make a simple introduction. So this is the front of the book. It's called The Introduction Effect. And the illustration has been done by Deja Brown, who has done some great work for Nike and Adidas. And I worked also with Kim Marsh, who does a lot of great book storytelling too as well. And we built a visual guide of what it means to actually make connections and make relationships happen. So let's go to the first page. I want to read a few things for you. First off, you can't start a book without making any type of, compliment to the people that help shape you as a person. And so for me, that's my family. And so I wrote in the beginning to my family, without the introductions from you, there is no telling where I would be. You brought me to the concept of Ikigai and the why behind all introductions. Also, this book is in memory of my late grandmother, who to me was the patriarch of our family. And she's the power connector, the introducer, right? I want to also read a little bit about why I wrote this book. The idea for this book came as I listened to experiences of successful teams and individuals. I quickly noticed a common theme. With every person I spoke with, there was a connector, a referrer. One person that introduced them to an opportunity to help them succeed, or in some cases change their life. As I listened, I pieced things together. I was not only moved, but inspired to actually act. I was working as a recruiter at the time, and I felt that this particular topic around referrals and human-centered introductions needed to be more deeply explored. I spent countless of hours gathering unique stories from different industries and speaking to experts. I researched various perspectives on the recruitment process and expanded my exploration of the power of referrals. I came across a lot of complex information, and I thought, no wonder most of this is not common knowledge. It's boring. It's not stuff people want to read about. So I recognized an opportunity to simplify things, and that's why we put together this book. The results are here. In short, this is a simple guide to the finding people part of introductions and creating successful stories for other people. A lot of people think like they are a go-getter to go and grab and achieve things. This book talks about how to be a go-giver, how to connect things together and put people in the right rooms. I asked people, how can we take this superpower that we all have, the power that we have within us? Sometimes we don't even know the power exists, but the power of introductions, and activate that power every single day. What I continue to see time and time again is that the winning principles of memorable recruiting are important for recruiters and hiring managers, but they're actually important for all of us. For many people, their big dreams are surprisingly not light years ahead. In fact, they might just be one email or a text message away. Can you imagine If only 10% of the things you shared, as readily as you shared the latest TikTok video, were introductions to opportunities to help your friends and your network succeed, that would be powerful. That would be the introduction effect. So the beginning of this made me very emotional because of the people in my life that introduced me to things that helped to shape my path that I'm on today. And I'm sure all of us have a story about someone in our lives that introduced us to something to help us get to where we are. And so this book is more than just talking about the process, but it talks about the science, the logic, the emotions, the feeling, and the impact of introductions. Recruiting 101 is the first page when you get into the book. And Recruiting 101 looks like this. And I think about recruiting in a way that sometimes has a lot of great energetic feelings that come to mind, but also some people sometimes say, what is recruiting? I took a quote that says, whatever you do in life, do enough to bless someone besides yourself. Recruiting often gets a bad break. In fact, it's perceived sometimes as a numbers game, very complicated, very transactional. Many people think recruiting looks like this. A lot of just complexity, a lot of chaos. But the truth is, the recruiting process looks more like this. Giving, connecting. True recruiting is simply about finding great people and connecting them to opportunities where they can have an impact. This beautiful matching process leads to greater career satisfaction, greater engagement, and greater business outcomes. I want to pause there and talk about this as it relates to also the conference that I'm sitting in. A lot of people are looking right now in this tough economy. They're looking for their next job. They're looking for how can they get to a high five moment? How can they find their next career? Especially with all this going on politically. We know a lot's going on politically, especially with what's going on with policy, with the economy. It's not easy just to walk in and be really good at a job. Instead of always trying to find out what you can do for yourself to try to find the right position or career, I like to help people transform the way that they think. Think about how can you help someone else find the right job. You yourself, you're a recruiter. You yourself have the power to introduce somebody to an opportunity. This book helps unlock that thought and that process too as well in a very casual way. So one of the questions in the book that I asked is focused on the recruitment mindset. It looks like this, the recruitment mindset. The first thought is, now, what does this all have to do with me? I'm not a recruiter. I'm not someone that is calling people and asking people to work somewhere. This book's irrelevant for me. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you thought this. The truth is, we are all connectors. We're all recruiters. Even if we don't try to do that, even if we don't try to actually help to connect someone to an opportunity, by nature of the way humans interact, we always do. We tell stories. We share information. We create success moments. We create moments where they're very sad. And with us sharing these stories, we create moments in people's minds where they start thinking about what if for themselves. Imagine if you harness that power of actually sharing things and help people get to what they really want in life. That's the power of the introduction effect. There's a stigma that helping people get what they want can be transactional. If you really think about what people need, it can actually be more fulfilling than transactional. Not just for yourself, but specifically for them. If you listen and you think about exactly what type of relationship they want with their next step, you can turn it from a relationship type conversation instead of something that's very salesy. The introduction effect, especially in a climate that we're in right now, can help unlock opportunities for other people. And I'm telling you, I have a testimony. When I was unlocking opportunities for other people, it was funny. So many opportunities came to me. I didn't think that was going to happen initially. Like, that doesn't make any sense. How can you help someone else, but then goodness comes back to you? That's exactly what happened. I unlocked opportunities for people and started to share moments and also share opportunities like jobs, careers, investors, founders, people that people needed to meet, people that people needed to actually talk with to help them with their journey. And with those introductions, I was able to then open up doors for myself. Did you know that 85% of jobs are filled through networking, recruiting, and referrals? That's powerful. Referrals, connections, and introductions are key drivers in economic growth. When we talk about wealth generation and the wealth gap, this is one of our secret weapons. Yes, we need to do our work on the policy front. We have to change a lot of things. Yes, we need to do the work in education, in the schools, financial literacy, entrepreneurship. Yes, we need better leaders too as well to be able to help shift. Yes, we need to still combat all the after effects of redlining and all the issues that we face too as well today. There are other fronts that we have to fight on that sometimes are not as common. One of the front is being able to actually add value to each other. All of our networks separately are very powerful. Imagine if we start to harness those networks to help each other to succeed more. That's the power of a referral. How do we begin to see ourselves as the recruiters that we are, as the connectors that we are within our ecosystems? Here at CBC, I'm already thinking about how I can help. How can I actually make an introduction that can create impact for somebody else? The reason why people are able to do this is because they have a mindset shift. When you share a story about a product, an experience at work, or how much you enjoy work life, you plant subtle ideas in the mind of a listener as they ponder, what if? What if? What is the introduction effect? We keep hearing this word, you're seeing the book, you're looking at the front cover, but what is the introduction effect? I want to talk a little bit about that. This is the collective impact of each of us utilizing our spheres of influence, including family, friends, colleagues, and neighbors, to activate connections and introduce individuals to new people and opportunities. When we all play our role, the potential, the effect of these introductions are limitless. That's the introduction effect. It used to be 6 degrees of separation. Now it's only 2, thanks to introductions and also technology. When you think about that, anything and anyone is an email or a text message away. And you can be someone that can help someone get to wherever they want to be. As a connector, you're in a position to change people's lives. There is something extremely rewarding about visualizing the impact of this change and watching introduction stories unfold. Your next introduction could lead to someone finding their next job, their future spouse, or next great opportunity. Let's pause right there, because I know you all have stories about someone that you know in your circle, a friend, a family member. You might have met someone and told them to jump on a train and they met their potential partner just because they came to an event with you. Those are introduction moments. They're powerful. You have that power within you already. This book talks about how to unlock that a little bit more, because I believe your network is your superpower. Simple. That's your greatest asset. People say that all the time, but let's really think about that. Your network is your greatest superpower because it lives in your head, and you can activate the successes and also the moments that you've experienced with other people and make them real. One of the ways to connect with me would be on LinkedIn, Noble Madu, Noble Madu. And then another way to connect with me would be on Instagram, just Noble Madu, Noble Madu. And then also feel free to purchase the book on Amazon and also where they sell major books online. It's been really fun to talk to you about my book today. This is a work that has really been meaningful for me, and something that really makes me think about my life in general too as well. This is actually my first book, so please leave reviews too as well, and make sure you give me honest feedback. And I want to continue to provide great content in the marketplace and listen to you, my readers, because without you, there's really nothing that I can really do on the author side. So a special thank you too as well to CBCF and all the team members too as well with In Rare Form Consulting and everyone that put this together too as well in this moment. I really appreciate everyone. Together, we're stronger. Thank you so much.